whatever that means.
Well, that's
Which
what I
means
do.
that you're a rare soul, Robert. So I applaud you for taking up Krishna consciousness, because it's a rare soul that chooses to do that.
Yeah.
Who left? Narayan Prabhu left? Oh, he was on.
Yeah, he was there, but then he left.
Okay, so your quote, let me share your quote in the meantime. Prabhupada, you made a very good point about spilling gallons of blood. Share here. This is a letter to Jay Pataka, October 22nd, 1972. Whoops, wrong one. This one. One second. Close the screen here. Here we go. Prabhupada is saying in a lecture in 1973, repeatedly, we are spending our gallons of blood. Don't do this. Still, they're doing. Cannot give up sleeping. So condemned, Kali Yuga. That is one time he uses gallons of blood.
Manda sumanda mataya.
Yeah. Manda sumanda. Okay, and then he says in a morning, what is this? Morning walk conversation, January 18, 1974. We are spending our blood, gallons of blood, to make them
Bhagyavan.
Bhagyavan. Bhagyavan means I think fortunate, I think. Let's look it up. Bhagyavan.
Looks like Bhagavan.
Yeah, Bhagyavan. Let's see what Prabhupada says. Very fortunate. Yes, yeah. Meaning very fortunate.
Bhagyavan.
Bhagyavan. So let's go back. So Bhagyavan. Fortunate. Now we're spending our blood, gallons of blood, to make them Bhagyavan, fortunate. This is the sacrifice of the devotees. Just like you are poor. Someday, rich man comes, all right, take $1 million from me. You get immediately rich. That's another one here. All right, Prabhupada saying in a room conversation, Mauritius, October 4th, 1975, you have to spend or waste gallons of blood before you can convert a person to Krishna consciousness. It is so difficult task. You have to spend
Chaivana.
gallons of blood waste in this way, Chaivana, in that way, by talking with him, with the rascal and foolish, you tax your brain and spoil your energy and blood. That's really something. Yeah, I can see, dealing with these devotees here locally, I'm trying to help them understand that, hey, your Krishna consciousness can be so much better if you just try to understand these things, these instructions that Prabhupada gave. But it seems that, none of them are really interested, even.
Are they following bogus gurus?
Oh, yeah, they have this different types of gurus here, Jayapatakas, Radhanaths, all kinds of gurus, so Vaisheshika. So they're getting bombarded from all sides. So
It's bewildering how much gurus are out there.
Robert, excellent. Yeah, Prabhupada said in one of the I shared one video. I'll put it here.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, what's the essence, Robert Prabhu? Prabhupada saying there's so many bogus gurus or something. That's why we're writing these books. I think so. Let's see here. Prabhupada says. Yeah, it seems like when the. Okay, it's that video is here. Where is it? Here we go. I'll share this video.
Nowadays.
And this is just.
Nowadays.
I'll share it. 1 second. Here it is. We share the audio.
Nowadays, there are so many so-called spiritual masters. It becomes bewildering to us as to who can actually give spiritual knowledge. Therefore, I have written volumes of books, authorized Vedic literature, of which you can take advantage in association with the devotees who are practicing this knowledge. Thus, you will be able to learn the science of God.
Yeah, that gives me comfort.
Jai, so this is a letter written, Srila Prabhupada had written to one of the devotees. So we see here, at least in Srila Prabhupada's so-called ISKCON, there's so many gurus. So Prabhupada is exactly talking about this point. They've concocted so many ways to prop up their position as some sort of successor or some sort of great leader. And and we have seen from history, at least, 1977 till now, they've branded, like 90 gurus, and 50% have went away or, left, fallen down. Yeah. So they don't really have a good track record.
Can you come back from a fall down?
No, the guru does not fall down. So yeah, we can fall down. So, but the acharyas never fall down. The spiritual diksha guru, he can never fall down because he's in a position that Krishna is directly taking charge, controlling him. So
And if somebody does fall down, it means they were never authorized or qualified in the first place.
yeah. So okay, would like to welcome our viewers. I think it's going on live on Facebook, no, on YouTube, and Facebook also. Oh, Narayan Prabhu, can you hear us?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, excellent. You look like you're in the midst of the fog, and
It's like a mystic.
Yeah, I'm fighting Maya day and night. My sword is composed of spiritual light. And every time I swing it, I pierce illusion, which leaves me in a cloud. But don't worry, the cloud.
Oh, you disappeared for a second.
Cloud can kill any living being, but it cannot harm a jiva. And I happen to be a jiva.
Jai.
That's
All
the
right.
distinction.
Narayan, is your phone dead?
I just buried it, but I didn't know whether to put a Star of David over it or a cross over it or a deities over it. I didn't know what to do, so I just buried it. No, it's dead for now. Tomorrow I'm going to go to.
Okay, Jai. All right, so I'd like to play some videos. I guess I want to show Narayan Prabhu what's happening here, and then we'll have a discussion based on that.
Can I make a little comment to begin with?
Sure, yes, go ahead.
I sent a text to Bobby Hebert saying that with his spiritual genius and ability to do everything and all the things that he either can or thinks he can do, that he should seek out Elon Musk and make him into a pure devotee, because he will sort out all the problems because he sees straight and to the point. He doesn't get caught up in sociological jibber jabber. I didn't.
So what did he respond?
He said, "Good idea."
He's a big man, all right.
Yeah.
I don't think Elon would do it though.
World's richest man. That's the question. Anyhow, let's see how it turns out. But I'm determined that Elon Musk should become a devotee, because if he becomes a devotee and follows our program, not the bogus guru program, not the change books program, but if he follows our program, he will see Prabhupada for who he is. He will understand from hearing Prabhupada that no one else counts, because that's the way his mind works. He has what's it called? Asperger's. Asperger's means you see clearly. I do too. You see clearly and to the point. That's how I built my career. Just seeing a problem, an art restoration problem, seeing it, suddenly the solution would come out of the project itself, and I would be able to do it fantastically, best in the world, not exaggerating. But I do things that nobody else does. That's why I could be best in the world. But I don't want to take up too much time. But
No, that type of thinking that you have, it's very rare, or at least it's because I think because of your life upbringing and your previous life or whatever it may be.
all of the above.
All of the above, yeah. So I mean, I've met many Prabhupada disciples. I've talked to many of them. Yeah. So
Mahaprabhu
Mahaprabhu's here after a long time. Yes.
begged him to come.
Jai Mahaprabhu.
And in person, he begged him to come. And he gave me a
Haribol.
Haribol, you gave me a big hug at your place of work.
Absolutely.
Isn't that amazing? And here you
Always.
are. Krishna has arranged for you to come. I simply was the messenger.
Hare Krishna.
Right. Okay, anyhow, that's all I'd like to say for the moment. I think it would be a nice, interesting thing to see how we could engineer a program that will attract Elon Musk. And he's a good guy, a very good guy. His whole life is spent how to do good for humanity. And he's read a lot of spiritual and religious books. Obviously, he either didn't read the right ones or he read it in the wrong state of mind. But we could set him straight, can't we?
Yeah. Jivatma, your spirit soul. Where's all this thing
Yeah.
coming from? Intelligence and
And Bobby Hebert can get him not only to come, but to be initiated by
Yashodanandan.
Yasodanandan, yeah.
Jai.
Then he'll lose all his Shakti. But anyhow, that's not the problem in front
Let's
of
be
us.
kind here. No.
Anyhow, we're going to do the right thing. And by doing the right thing, we will get the right outcome. The right outcome is going to come anyhow. But it's a matter of time.
You never give it how they sleep.
Why should we take 20 more births? Let's do it now.
Jai.
Or maybe 1,000 more births. Who needs it? Let's do it now. I don't care if we go down in history as having done the right thing. Let them beat me like Haridas Thakur through the marketplace. 23 marketplaces and leave me completely battered to death. But let it happen now.
Now or never.
Now or later, which is worse than never. Like a little kid says, "Oh, mommy, when can I have some candy?" Later. But I want some now. No. Let's make it happen sooner than later. I'm very excited about it. If you study Elon Musk's life, you'll see the man has a heart for everyone. If Prabhupada had one disciple, Elon Musk would be the best one. Because Elon Musk wouldn't give up until he understood what Prabhupada was really doing and really wanted. I've watched his, a few hours of his tapes. He's amazing. And people try to put him down. People try to limit him. People try to make him, "Oh, what is your business rationale?" And he sits there, his head moves back and forth. He smiles. And he said, "I just want to do good for humanity." Sort of a weird thing for the richest man in the world to say.
Yeah, he just was he always the richest man of the world, or he just became rich? I don't remember.
No, good to God, he wasn't rich. He was raised by a prosperous family in South Africa. His father was a mean, how can we describe him? SOB. And he escaped from his father with his brother, went to Canada. He wouldn't even buy him a computer. So he finally got together and found a cheap computer. And he worked on it his brother worked on it all day and he worked on it all night. And he watched video games and movies thing, and then he read the entire Encyclopedia Britannica from start to finish, and I never dared ask the question, how much of it did you remember? But given that it's Elon Musk, probably all the useful parts. And he read so many other books on philosophy and religion and novels. He didn't limit himself to anything. And that's how he came up with SpaceX, but he doesn't realize that Mars is already populated. So we should
Didn't
correct that to him rather gently, but the universe is not already, the universe is populated, and the universe with the right handling can bring about pure, unalloyed love of God to every jiva. And
What do you mean? The union? What?
all that, we don't have to worry about it. If you bring about pure, unalloyed love of God in a temple with only Prabhupada as the guru, and only Prabhupada's kirtan, like the one which we either did or did not hear tonight, in with that same 1966, that sound was there before Prabhupada was facing the onslaught that came only 4 years later to destroy him, destroy the movement, and make him into what turned into a writer for hire. So the GBC would manage everything with their superior American and European mentality, and Prabhupada would produce books for them to sell. That's what happened. Okay,
Guy, yes.
did any of the cloud lift from around me? No, it's gotten thicker. Okay, well, to hell with the cloud. We'll see.
No, because you're going more and more higher into the Brahma Jyoti. That's why.
I don't know about the Brahma Jyoti. It's where the yogis want to go, and where the Brahma, where the Buddhists try to go, but actually don't want to go. They want to go right to the edge of ego and Brahman. If they can stay on the edge, that is their sense of perfection. You know, right in between. I studied Buddhism for years.
Hmm.
Liked it, loved it. Didn't go anywhere do it for me, did it? Had to find Prabhupada, and I had to find Krishna.
So I'd like to share this video. This was the first Rath Yatra done at the Capital Mall. I know probably you might remember
The
this.
Capitol Mall. What happened at the Capitol Mall?
They had a Rath Yatra in Sacramento.
Oh, this is the Sacramento, California Capitol.
Yeah, I'll show you the video. It's only like 1 minute. Okay.
We can make it 2 or 3. That would be fun.
So this is the Capitol Mall at 10th and N Street here in Sacramento. This was the first Rath Yatra that ever has been done in Sacramento. Jagannath Swami was there from Berkeley. Ratna Bhusa Prabhu was there. Ratna from Los Angeles. And I think he brought the cart also. So it was
That was this year?
this year, just today.
So Ratna got over his COVID.
Yeah.
Didn't hear about that.
Yeah, he's doing fine. So he's a hardworking man, very hardworking man, I've noticed.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He was hardworking in Wisconsin, and he's harder working here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
his brother, who invented the questionable fiberglass mridungas with fiberglass plastic heads, which I don't really support completely, but he died for Krishna.
What, he died for Krishna?
Yeah, he made these mridungas and they poisoned him to death.
Who poisoned him? The Mardangas did?
The mridungas did.
Oh, I see. Well, let's watch this video now.
Stuff that doesn't show up on the internet. But we've got it right here. Okay, go ahead. Let's see Rath Yatra. Were you there?
Okay.
Of course you were there.
Yeah, I was there. We had about 650 people. So
Really?
yeah, about 650
Did
people.
Gavin Newsom come out dancing in ecstasy?
We'll talk again later about that. So Gavin Newsom was not there. So here we go.
Let's see.
Sunset doesn't last all evening. The mind can blow those clouds away.
So there we go. That was the little video I took for.
That's nice. I wish it was longer.
Yeah, I didn't, I like to keep videos short nowadays. So, anyways, it was good. It was first time, so I saw some old friends there. Some, I think, like 2 or 3 Prabhupada disciples were there. Ratna was there.
Who was there?
Ratna Prabhu was there.
Yes.
The Jagannath Swami Prabhu from Berkeley.
Jai Raghav Swami.
Yeah, he facilitated and organized and guided the carts. So he and his wife, wonderful wife, came, and some other devotees. I also met the son of what was that? Yashomati Nandana. One of the sons. He's in Berkeley. So
Nanda.
yeah,
Oh, from Gujarat.
yeah, yes. So he was there.
Which son? You don't know there's 8 of them. Do you know the name?
Shama. His name is Sham.
Shama.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly know him. I knew them all. I used to hang out with in Gujarat.
Yeah, Sham Prabhu was there, and he was trying to say that, Ronald Prabhu, do you have some sort of following? I said, we're not going for the following. We don't want a great following. He suggested you should read read from Bhagavatam. I said people can do that themselves. Open the book and read it. We want to discuss the future.
He said that specifically in the Shastastikam, didn't he?
What did you?
Any followers of mine, he said.
What?
Lord Chaitanya said that in the Shastastikam.
Oh, yes.
No followers of mine. I don't want followers of mine.
Yeah. So, he grew up in ISKCON, so I can understand, this fellowship. A lot of people are looking for some fellowship and follow me, and I'll lead you to the cliff and make you jump.
Yeah, everybody's trying to relate with each other in a humanistic sort of way. And if they relate nicely and chant Hare Krishna and offer obeisance to each other, that Prabhupada wanted as a beginning stage. But if you want to get to the perfectional stage, which all these gurus think they've achieved, if you want to get to the perfectional stage, you have to give up that sense of brotherhood and get into a single one-on-one relationship with Krishna through Prabhupada's personal chanting. Because he's the one that's connected to Krishna. That girl that was chanting is lovely. But I mean, if you want to, she'll create a wonderful society for human beings if they all listen to her chanting. However, we want to go beyond that. There's nothing wrong with that, but we want to go beyond it. We want to go to Krishna's lotus feet delivered to us by Srila Prabhupada's chanting, like on the 1966 record. If you follow the sound vibration, where will you end up? When Prabhupada's chanting, where will you end up? Will you not end up in Krishna Loka?
Right, yes.
And that's what people are avoiding like the plague. I want my own Mridanga style. I want my own Kirtan style. I want my own Guru style. I want my own everything. Let them chant because it will benefit people, but to some degree. But if you want perfection, come to the Zoom call called League for 10K and either love it or hate it, but you will be informed by it as to what it takes to actually go back to Godhead.
It is my understanding, or something that I thought of, that if people actually, came here and, listened to what we had to say, they would probably freak out, and they will probably not know what to do. I mean, some of these people who've been initiated by these so-called gurus, if they come on the program and they hear all this, it's going to be very shocking, right?
Is it going to be shocking, or is it going to be awakening from a bad dream?
Well, what do you think, Rupa?
A worse dream than taking initiation from a guy, you worship him, you give him money, he gives you a garland every once in a while, and nothing else happens. You're just stuck there being a cog in a machine making money for the guru. Why is
The
that?
thing is they've surrendered themselves to this person and have like accepted the conviction that this person is a representative of God.
Well, are they
And
that
so-
stupid that when they hear the truth, they won't say, "Oh my God, I was cheated"?
I think it depends on the person.
I was misled. I mean, what men and women get divorced all the time because it turns out their husband or wife wasn't who they thought they were.
Hmm. Right, that's a good point. Yeah.
Then why wouldn't it work with a guru? It's hardly any better than getting married to a karmi lady.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah, that's from that angle. Yeah. So,
I think also, isn't it a fact that there's a lot of people that we're not fully aware of that are listening to this Zoom?
oh yes, definitely. Yeah.
These amazing little glitches, and that people listen to them. And they
Oh
like-
yeah.
I think there's hundreds of people that like what we're doing. They don't join us. But then again, is that the goal? Or is
Right.
the goal that they wake up and start acting in the right direction with or without joining us?
Yeah.
Bobby Hebert wants hundreds of people to join him. And then what? Have a big party and everyone sits on a sofa and eats snacks and says how good we are.
Yeah.
The
A lot of.
point, I'm not going to put down Bobby Hebert. I want him to deliver Elon Musk, so I better be careful what I say, because he listens to this too, you know.
Yeah. He does listen to it once in a while.
He does listen. Does he say so? No, but he does listen.
Right.
But the point being, as I was pointing out before, if I may, and that is that when people hear what goes on here, what we say, even I say something stupid or crude, but if it's to the point, people say, how did the guy dare say the king has no clothes? The king is naked. No, he isn't. He's my guru. He's dressed in finery. He will when he dies, we'll bury him in a samadhi so that he won't be able to escape for thousands of years of his samadhi. Can you imagine Tamal Krishna in a samadhi or Kirtanananda in a samadhi? What the heck are they going to do? I can understand if you're Narottam Das Thakur or if you're Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti in a samadhi. I've gone to Vrindavan, I've bowed down, I've worshipped them, I've wept in front of their samadhi because of who they are. But can you imagine doing that with Tamal Krishna? I imagine people do it too. Eh?
Yeah, soon Mayapur will be laid out with, samadhis of all these, 80 plus gurus.
Yeah, what the Sridhar said about gurus and Vyasasans, there'll be Vyasasans from the mountain to the seas. So to transpose that, there are going to be samadhis all up and down the Jamuna and the Saraswati rivers. So much so that you won't even be able to plant any hemp, which is what they were growing there. Hemp for fiber, not hemp for smoking, as far as I know.
Robert Prabhu, any questions or realizations you want to share, Prabhu?
At the moment, no, but it seems the conversation is getting interesting.
Okay.
Robert Prabhu, do you understand that depression ends when the truth enters your heart and you become enlivened by the truth?
Right.
Whatever caused you to be depressed will be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some comments on YouTube. Peter Prabhu, Aristo Prabhu saying Hare Krishna. Peter saying, divorces are usually a nasty affair. Hare Krishna.
What's a nasty affair?
Divorces.
Divorces.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's have a nasty affair all over the place with people divorcing their gurus. Can you imagine a guy with 1,000 wives, 1,000 disciples, and he has a divorce? Can you imagine the child support payment he's going to have to pay? 1,000 disciples.
He'll go bankrupt immediately.
Either that or he's going to have 10,000 disciples to pay for those disciples.
I mean, this really doesn't make any sense. I mean, if they continue like this, I mean, let's be practical here. You know, we have people like Vaisheshika, Jayapataka, Radhanath, whatever, XYZ guru, and now they have made disciples, you know, thousands of them. And now when they go to their next body or to the samadhi or whatever, and these people who are their disciples will start to initiate also. So just see the disaster.
What happens when they die?
Yeah.
Will they
So-
go to their guru?
Yeah, yeah, that's
He took on their karma, eh? If Jayapataka took on the karma of 50,000 people, that's why he has a face that droops.
Mm, yeah, yeah,
So
right.
what will happen? He passes away, goes into samadhi, everybody grieves. 50,000 people are ready to say, I'll give my life instead of his, but it'll be too late, then all that. But what happens when those people die?
Mm,
They'll go to their guru. And where will Jayapataka, who helped poison Prabhupada, where will he be?
yeah,
And now surrounded by 50,000 disciples who died. And God knows if they had, as you say, became gurus and their disciples die and go to their guru's samadhi, which is attached to Jayapataka's samadhi, can you imagine the horrific nightmare?
yeah. You know, that's why we're here. We're discussing,
Yeah.
and that's
We're here to say,
giving the solution.
we're here to say, you don't have to do that.
Yes.
You don't oblige to go to hell because you have a guru who poisoned Prabhupada. There's some guy on the internet who claims to be so proud that he's Tamal's disciple. And he says he's so proud because if you see all the pictures, Tamal's standing right next to Prabhupada, including at the end.
What
Why
does
is
that mean?
Tamal so satisfied? You know, he should have taken a taste of his own
So-
medicine.
So Tamal, okay, if Tamal is his guru, what books has Tamal written about Krishna and pure devotional service?
Oh, he doesn't have to, because Prabhupada wrote the books and Tamal is the access point by giving him initiation.
So Tamal is the access point. Isn't that like a doormat or something? You come wipe your feet and get in the house. Is he using Tamal as
I don't think
doormat?
he sees Tamal like a doormat.
Hmm?
May I make a horrible, well, not horrible, but a neutral, but a true confession?
Sure.
Do you know who? Did you know that Tamal is my guru?
Oh, you told me that. Yes.
He's my Vartana Pradaksha guru.
Yes. Yes.
It's me, and my brother was sitting next to me, and I convinced my brother in that same meeting to surrender to Prabhupada.
Hmm.
That's why when he was saying that Prabhupada was getting old and senile and would never be able to build a Bombay temple, or Tamal wanted special rooms and a special staircase to get to it on the outside of the tower, that he said he would never be able to do it. And he gave the land back to Mr. Nair, who had sold the land to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada had to pay, I think, 10 lakhs of rupees, which back then was real money, to get it back again. And that's when he exiled Tamal to China. But I heard him and Shamasunder talking, chasing the wild rhinos.
Hmm.
Sam Spearstra. And so that's what, you know, and that is that's what happened. So how can they consider that Tamal could be able to take them back to Godhead? When I would say dollars to donuts, that Tamal cannot go back to Godhead. He'll go back to Godhead eventually. Everybody will go back to Godhead that became initiated by Prabhupada eventually. And God only knows the people that are initiated by the people that are pretend gurus. They will also go back to Godhead initially and eventually. But what will they have to do in the process? What will they have to do in between to clear up the karma of their guru? Hey, you know what I mean?
I said the dog wants to say something.
Dog really got me this time.
You're surely in the clouds now. No, can you turn on the light in the background? That will fix it. There you go.
Now
Make-
I'm just in the cloud of the Maya, which we're fighting. Now that's the sign of a warrior, wouldn't you say? A samurai with a katana and a daikatana, and he goes into the battle. Is he worried that he's going to come out alive? Of course not. The samurais are Buddhists. Why would they imagine that they'll come out of anything alive? The whole point is that you don't come out alive.
So one question real fast here. Shanyal Gunavant Prabhu is saying, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Guruji, I have question. How to live in life journey with happiness?
Who's asking that?
Rupa, how do you say this? Shial?
Yal Gunavant.
He's saying, Guruji, I have a question. How to live in life journey with
He's
happiness?
talking to you.
Will you read Prabhupada's books? What can I say? That's
Oh, Guruji, what are you going to say?
I should pick up the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad Gita as it is, 1972 edition, and read it.
Yeah, and what was his question again?
He's saying what else? He's saying, Guruji, I have a question. How to live in life journey with happiness?
Oh, well, the nature of the jiva is happiness because the nature of the jiva is part and parcel of Krishna, right?
Yes.
So is Krishna living in happiness?
Always.
Why not? Of course. He's surrounded by associates that make each other happy by making him happy, right?
Ananda, there's a shloka. Forget.
Exactly. So, and then by Prabhupada chanting, when he chants, you can hear Krishna coming through Prabhupada. So what is the natural response to hearing Prabhupada, Krishna coming through Prabhupada? Oh, I'm going to write my own melodies in my own kirtan style, complete with electric instruments, to avoid hearing Prabhupada. That's what the movement has become. An actual, they want Prabhupada as a picture, they want Prabhupada as a book writer, as long as they can change those books and edit them, but they do not want Prabhupada as a transparent via medium to Krishna. If they did, they'd pounce on Krishna, Prabhupada, as ferociously as they pounce on everything else.
Hmm.
They pounce on everything, but
Yeah.
not Prabhupada. So that's a mystery, isn't it? He's the only person to pounce on in the last 5,000 years. And even then it wasn't so pounceable because Krishna conducted so many pastimes that people just saw him as a coward boy or dance with gopis or whatever, you know.
Hmm.
But right now, after Lord Chaitanya, he created the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
He created the opportunity for us to pounce on the sound vibration of a pure devotee. Correct?
Yeah.
Sound vibration of a pure devotee chanting Hare Krishna. How
Jai.
could that not be better than making your own kirtans and chanting your own way and interpreting Prabhupada's books, but not understanding his own words? His words are infallible and impeccable. How can anyone add or subtract? But Satsguru came along and he produced, a dozen gurus or so, and it gave him such a splitting headache that he quit the GBC. That's what he said. You read that, right?
Oh yes. When Abhimanyu Prabhu was here, he showed me all the books that he has, written and drawn some crazy images of Srila Prabhupada and cartoon Krishna consciousness. He's just like an insane man,
Ooh, Satsguru?
Satsarup, yeah, like boxes of books, boxes, like, like 5, 10 boxes
Of
worth of
his
books.
books,
Huh?
of his books, Satsarup's books.
Yeah, like Krishna conscious books in sketches, the drawings. You've seen his drawings, right?
They're demented.
Yeah, demented drawings,
Yeah,
and people published. These are published books.
I understand that his pictures are hanging in galleries.
What does that mean? Indian gallows?
Galleries I'm sorry, they're displayed in art galleries. Can you imagine? I mean, Andy Warhol is Andy Warhol, but Satsrup is no Andy Warhol.
Yeah, it's just I mean, at one time when he was doing some service for Srila Prabhupada, he was okay, right? When he became
It was largely okay, yeah. When I was in Boston in 1969,
yeah,
he was
was he
the
okay?
president. He had moved us all into that big funeral parlor, where the main place for the ceremonies, looking at the dead body, was where the main temple room was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because at one point we were all standing there thinking, full of our hearts full of love for Srila Prabhupada, who was sitting on the Vyasa in the front of us to the right-hand side, where the dead bodies are normally displayed. Anyhow, no problem. A building is a building. It's just wood and bricks. But the thing is that we were standing there and our hearts, you could tell, I looked around the room, everybody's heart was filled with devotion for Srila Prabhupada. And you know what? Srila Prabhupada came to the mic, and we always expected his first words to be really like ripe plums. His first words are going to completely uplift us and take us into the next dimension, right? Of
Yes.
course. And
Mhm.
we'd gotten garlands like you wouldn't believe. We'd give him 20 garlands so much that you could hardly even see him. And he sat forward amidst the garlands with his microphone, and he said, "You are all ghostly haunted." Can you imagine?
Srila Prabhupada said that to the devotees. Wow.
Yeah, 60, 70, 80 devotees. You are all ghostly haunted. Which in retrospect is not so surprising because we were in a funeral parlor, which was probably saturated with ghosts, as the San Francisco temple on Valencia Street was saturated with ghosts.
Wow. Or I thought he meant like, he meant exactly that, huh? Because of the ghost building. I see.
And well, we didn't take it like that. We took it like our past karma is haunting us, That's how.
Oh, I see.
But in retrospect, I would say that we probably were all ghostly haunted. If you were Prabhupada, you looked into the group, you probably saw a ghost inside of every body of a devotee standing there with his hands in his bead bag and a shaved head and a masika, neck beads and chadar and everything. And if you looked at him, you'd see that there was a ghost standing in or with him,
Mhm.
Why not? There's plenty of them. I think sometimes funeral parlors close down because the ghosts get sick and tired of so many ghosts. They're saying enough already. We're already overpopulated now. Get out and find another building. Anyhow, I'm distracting. So why don't I get back to your excellent presentation?
Jai, okay, let me see if there's any more comments from devotees, and then we'll continue the discussion here. Rupa, anything you'd like to say, Prabhu? Robert?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Did you ask any questions on chat, Robert Prabhu? No?
No.
Okay.
No, you should ask some questions. You're on live on the planet Earth and everyone can hear you. Why not ask your questions now instead of sitting in your room with your head in your hands,
One question Robert Prabhu asked, which I would like to say here, is Robert Prabhu asked, how do we keep enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness?
All right. Well, you already asked a question, which I guess I partly answered, but about being happy Because the jiva is part and parcel of Krishna, who's always happy. And why would we not be always happy if we didn't have attachment for things that make us unhappy, right?
Yeah.
Our parents or girlfriends or boyfriends or whoever, they make us unhappy because of our karma. We are directed to people. Okay, when you die and you take a birth, you're covered with karma from your previous life. When you meet a woman or a man or anybody, you meet them and you recognize in them a perfect partner. So if you had a trauma in your last life or in a previous life sometime, and you meet a nice girl or a nice boy, whichever you are, and nowadays it's boy meets boy, what to say, or girl meets girl, but let's not go there. That if you meet somebody that matches your heart, please be with me, please marry me. I will be happy with you, and I promise to make you happy with me, right? Isn't that the usual idea? And then what happens if you get married? Past lives starts imploding into your marriage, and you have become karmically entangled with your wife or your husband.
Hmm.
So whatever you did in a past life is being met. So suppose you did something, you say, oh, I'm a nice birth now. I'm even a devotee now. That's fantastic. And then you meet somebody. And then why do you become depressed? Because you're in a situation that you created in your previous lifetime that causes you to be depressed in this lifetime. There, I will guarantee, and I would put, except this is all foggy, I would cut myself and see my blood, except it would look like gray. But the thing is that
Vampire.
Mhm.
there's nothing, Robert, there's nothing that's ever happened to you in this birth that wasn't caused by your previous life's karma, except for one thing, the things you've done in this lifetime. That's
Yeah.
added to your previous life's karma.
On my bad days where I'm feeling very depressed, I think back when I seen Krishna, and that makes me very happy.
Yeah, you saw his feet, didn't you? Or his
Yeah.
head. That's
His foot.
remarkable. Do you know what
His
that
foot.
means, don't you, Robert?
No, I don't know what that
You
means.
were not reaching out for Krishna. Krishna evidently knew you you were a devotee in a previous life.
Yeah.
Got it? And Krishna was reminding you by showing you his hand and his feet. And then you pursued it until you saw the same foot is from your mind in a book, right? Or in a painting.
I seen it. I just that's what led me to Prabhupada.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And coming to Prabhupada led you here to
Yep.
the League for 10K, because we are not only going to solve, I'm not going to do nothing, but your own depression will be solved here. But that's not the main point.
We have some questions, just FYI.
Are you prepared to alleviate the suffering of all of humanity
Yeah.
by introducing them to the same feet and the same hand that you saw in a dream or in a thought? Are you ready to deliver everyone so that they can have your good fortune? They say, I have good fortune, but I'm depressed. Okay, a lot of people are depressed. Are you ready to go to these depressed people and deliver them from repeated births and deaths?
Yeah.
Which makes me very happy with you.
Well, I think people should know the truth.
Yeah. Can you imagine that if you make 20 people happy, 2 people happy, that you'll become happy in the process? When I
Yep.
say happy, I don't mean through drugs, sex, or rock and roll. I mean happy through chanting in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. What do you think?
Yep.
Now, with that solved, I mean, Nietzsche and Freud be damned. Not Nietzsche, what am I saying?
Mhm.
Jung and Freud be damned. They're great people. They did great work up to a point. But
Well,
what if you have
I think if it has nothing to do, if it has nothing to do,
while sitting there taking notes while they're lying on a couch. Just imagine what you can do by teaching them to dance and chant in ecstasy.
Okay,
think
Robert Prabhu, you want to say something, and then we'll go to the question. We have a question online.
I think if it has nothing to do with Krishna, it's all misleading.
Oh, yes.
Everything has something to do with Krishna.
To,
Well,
to, to what degree? Yes.
I'm
Well,
talking about religion,
Can you
everyday
understand?
living, all aspects of life.
What?
Robert Prabhu said, if something is not, well, what do you say, related to Krishna or leads you to Krishna, it's not worth, pursuing or something like that, if I understand it correctly.
That's a good thing to tell somebody that's wandering on off the street. But can I ask you in a more advanced context here, what is not related to Krishna?
That's true.
Is there anything?
It is all Krishna.
Maya is the chief agent to keep people in the material world.
Yeah.
So what if you come up to Maya Devi and say, let me worship you, Maya Devi, because you're doing such a damn good job keeping me in the material world. Now I renounce my reverence, not my reverence for you, but my obedience to your constant thoughts, temptations, feelings, and depressions. I worship you, Maya Devi, for allowing me. And if you don't allow, well, hey, I understand it's your job to not allow. Just like I'm a prisoner in the jail, it's the guard's duty, it's the prison guardian's duty not to let you out of the jail. So you go up to Maya Devi and say, I know it's your job not to let me out of this jail, but I want to come out of this jail because I've graduated from the lesson I was meant to learn here. Now, Maya Devi is a great devotee of Krishna, if believe it or not. And she, however, never appears in a picture with Krishna
Just have faith in Krishna. Krishna's real.
or a pastime with Krishna. She hides behind Krishna because she's so ashamed of what she's doing to you and me and Ramachandra sometimes. She's so ashamed of what she's doing that she dare not see Krishna face to face. Because
Okay, yeah, we have some questions.
by what she's doing.
Yes, yes. Okay, let's go to Saurav Sahu Prabhu. He's our viewer from, I think, India.
Was that answer okay, Ramachandra?
Yes.
Okay. Am I talking too much? Did you talk more?
Saurav Sahu Prabhu is saying, I want to ask something about the Ramakrishna mission because my father likes them in USA or in the Western countries. How much have they spread? What was the impact in the Western world compared to ISKCON? So he's making a comparison. His father likes Ramakrishna mission, and he's asking how prominent is the Ramakrishna mission in the United States or in the Western countries?
Or used to be. It was a long time ago. But the thing is that he's comparing two groups of people who are eating, sleeping, mating, defending. One for Ramakrishna, one for ISKCON, right? Human beings, in other words.
Yes, yes. His question should be more
Animals that can
specific,
sit on legs and speak. Okay, well, I was at the Ramakrishna mission in Calcutta some years ago.
Okay.
A few years ago. And Prabhupada had said so many things about Ramakrishna, including because of Ramakrishna, Bengal has gone to hell. You've heard
Yes, you said that.
Well, what else do you know about Ramakrishna?
Prabhupada did not have good things to say about Vivekananda and Ramakrishna. So
Vivekananda was Ramakrishna's disciple. When he sent Vivekananda to America, where he made a moderate splash and they opened a certain number of temples. But here Prabhupada said with scorn, where was the big flaw? And that when he sent Vivekananda to America, he looked at Vivekananda and touched him and said, I have now given you all of my Shakti and all of my potency. Now I am left without any. So I will sit here like a person on the verge of death while you go and spread the word. And Prabhupada said that's not the process. If a pure devotee gives sannyas to someone, that someone is supposed to go out and preach the glories of Krishna in all parts of the world. But that doesn't take away from Prabhupada, does it? It enhances Prabhupada, it makes him greater. So I went to the Ramakrishna mission in Calcutta. It was really quite a building. It's like a big temple, essentially, except that one side was all Protestant Christian, one side was all Muslim, one side was all Jewish, I guess, and one part was all, there were so many faces to it, and they each one represented one of the religions that are practiced on earth, because he believed that the whole solution to life was mixing the religions together, like mixing fentanyl with some other drug to make it even stronger. That's the idea, right?
No, I think that's a bad idea.
He was into smoking opium and smoking ganja, Ramakrishna was.
Interesting.
Which
Yeah.
was very different. And that's why Bengal has gone to hell, because of Ramakrishna. So I walked into the building and I looked around. It was really, I've done architectural work. I've built temples, and I walked around and it did not fail to impress me. Beautiful marble work inside and outside. It was very nicely done. So I walked along and I came to some guy in a little brown uniform, in India, they're like the sweepers or something, So he said, would you like a tour? I said, sure, give me the tour. So he took me all around, and then he took me into the sacred spot inside the temple where evidently God resides. I went into the sacred spot, and there were seats there, about 50 seats, and a little thing, a pyramidal thing with different layers of different shapes that built up to a top, where there was an Indian light bulb screwed in to the very top, just a bare light bulb, no shade or anything like that. And so the guy had me sit down in a prayerful mood, so I did, and he went behind the curtain and flicked the switch.
And brought out a chicken.
And came out and said, look at that light. I said, okay, I see Indian light bulb, not very good compared to European and American light bulbs. So okay, I didn't say that. Just thinking that, I said, yes. He said, that is God. That is the supreme realization coming from that light bulb. And I said to him, well, excuse me for one moment. That light bulb is screwed in and you turned on the switch. And I'm familiar with light bulbs. We have them all over the world. Well, that's me over there carrying Prabhupada up the stairs of Radharani's birthplace called
Is Prabhupada the highest form of worshiping Krishna?
Of course.
Okay.
How could he not be? Not on the material level, but because he came here from Krishna Loka to deliver us.
I just don't want to make no mistakes.
Us, that's a greater mercy than if Krishna appeared right now for you and me, like a light bulb, what would we say? What would we do?
I'll do research.
Oh, there's Krishna, huh? Well, I'm late for lunch. I think I'll go and have lunch now. No, when Prabhupada comes, he arranged for prasadam for everyone. So that's a whole different ballgame. The spiritual master, the pure devotee, the Uttamadhikari is more merciful than Krishna. More merciful than Krishna. So anyhow, back to the light bulb. I'm sitting there staring at the light bulb, which he hasn't turned off. Is looking at me expectantly, wondering what my realization is going to be in the presence of that transcendental light, or the symbol of that transcendental light. And I said, that's a light bulb, yes? He said, yes. I said, but what happens when it burns out? Does that mean God is dead? he wasn't happy with my answer question. So that's where we parted company. I got up and walked out, wondering how they can believe that God could burn out like a light bulb. Would he be replaced from the local electric walla? And then with another light bulb? Or would they use a laser nowadays? What would they use to replace the light bulb when God is dead? So, that was the end of it for me. I wasn't impressed to begin with, but I wanted to see what was the highest thing they had to offer. And this Pujari or whatever he was very kindly showed me that the highest thing they had to offer inside of that palatial temple, inside of that place, which was just complete. If it was a Krishna temple, it would be a main Krishna temple somewhere. And with all the faces of all the different religions on the outside. And I said, I would say all of that for a light bulb. It just absolutely blew my mind. Didn't blow the light bulb, just blew my mind. But anyhow, taking a lot of time to describe, but you wanted to know about Prabhupada's response to Ramakrishna and Vivekananda. He said because of Vivekananda and Ramakrishna, Bengal has gone to hell. Why? Because they're tapping into the, what do they call the bowels? And the bowels, not BOWELs, although they might as well.
His specific question was, in America, what is the influence in America? This Ramakrishna mission and
just like when what's the other guy's name? Not Vivekananda, but the guy that went to the World's Fair and blew everybody away. What do you remember what his name was?
what guy, can you describe him? Who and where he went?
From India. He started the civil society, and has a lake shrine in Los Angeles. Just can't remember his name.
Yogi Bhajan.
Huh?
Yogi Bhajan?
Vivekananda?
No, Yogi Bhajan.
Not Yogi Bhajan.
Oh,
Paramahansa Yogananda.
Thank you.
oh, all right.
Here is some spiritual intelligence. Not me.
Joy.
Okay, so yes, Paramahansa Yogananda came, and he came in the Victorian era, so he built a whole bunch of Victorian buildings in San Francisco, those classical Victorian buildings, except they had Vedic arches on them, and he got the rich and famous people to come and sit down and meditate with him, and they gave him lots of money. But it didn't go very much further, and I read an article in the Los Angeles Times about a guy who said that he was the illegitimate son of Vivekananda, Paramahansa Yogananda, by one of his disciples.
Yeah, at least in Sacramento, I don't think they have any influence on the in any spiritual sense.
That their main thing was getting rich people together, have them meditate, and consider that they were going to merge with Brahman or something of that sort. So none of those, whether it's Paramahansa Yogananda or Vivekananda, they didn't ever have a major impact.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Prabhupada came, and within a few years, he had hundreds of temples all over the world.
Joy. Yes.
And many, many disciples will regret what they're doing right now because they will wish that they had continued to follow Prabhupada. But even in their disobedience, they're following Prabhupada. They're opening temples to Krishna. The fact that when you walk into one, you get confused and don't know who's worshiping who or what, and who's that guy sitting there plump with his plump butt on a very costly cushion. And then, the guru, you can surrender to him. He will deliver you from repeated birth and death.
He'll change the diapers for you.
Yeah, exactly. Will you save me from repeated birth and death? Oh, yes. How will you do that? I'm a bona fide guru appointed by the GBC, who was supposed to be elected but chose not to be, and they disobeyed Prabhupada, and that disobedient group has made me a guru, and I will be able to take you back to Godhead. How? By accepting your karma. Well, what will you do with my karma? Hopefully Krishna will take it from me, although sometimes I have major doubts, and my girlfriend, who nobody knows about, has even greater doubts. So I don't know. But if you surrender to me and give me your money, the rest is up to Krishna, okay?
Yeah. When you just mentioned this, Vaisheshika Prabhu was giving an initiation today, and he seems like a very intelligent, devotee or guy or whatever you want to, label him.
Great. We need intelligent people. I know Visheshika since he was married. Well, he's still married, right?
Yes.
He was married in New Dwarka and selling books or something. Yeah.
But why doesn't he see his predecessor, so-called gurus, had huge, crazy, headaches. They became drunkards. They shot people. They got their heads chopped off. Why doesn't he see that? Oh, I'm setting myself up. Why would you set yourself up? I mean, he seems like a very intelligent person, but why is he setting himself up?
He's brilliant. I don't know if he's genius level brilliant, but he's brilliant. And he loves me. Yeah, I went to Rath Yatra, he grabbed me by the arm, took me over to his bookstall and gave me his book and signed it, So he knows me. He knows me from way back. And I love him. Why shouldn't I love him? He's a nice guy. But what about his disciples? What will happen to them when he dies?
No, I'm not talking about his disciples. I'm talking about him. Doesn't he have an understanding that, hey, look what happened 30 years ago? Look what happened. This is what I'm signing up for. Is this what I want to sign up for? Insane headaches, and then all this, crazy things.
Headaches like Satsuru.
Yeah, or look at Hansaduda. What happened to him?
He changed and rectified himself and became a disciple of Prabhupada once again, and everybody hated him for it.
Yes, we know that part. Even
he wrote a whole paper, a whole book, stating his disciples were all initiated as Prabhupada's disciples, and mistakenly he accepted them.
Right. So
he was a very dear friend of mine, Hansudev, for some reason.
No, but in this case of Vaisheshika, why doesn't he understand all these things? Is it because he's so much lusty after money, or so much confused? I mean,
I don't think from his point of view, from his perspective.
Yes, his perspective. Yes.
Let me give it a try. Look, he's got all these people that are selling books. His whole life is dedicated to selling books. Change books, who cares? But he wants to sell books. He wants to give his life to that. If I become their guru and they sell books, I'm happy. What happens to their karma? Well, they'll get purified by selling books. I mean, he just has it all worked out so that it's simple as joining the Boy Scouts. In other words, how much karma does a Boy Scout leader take on from the Cub Scouts in his control? He takes on some, obviously. Anybody who's a school teacher in the school takes on karma of their students, right? And in some cases, the students take on the karma of the teacher. But in this case of Vaisheshika, I think he thinks he has the system beat. Because nobody's asking anything from him, and he's not asking for anything from anybody. Just sell books. And they do. And they say, if you sell books, you'll go back to Godhead. Well, what about Guru? I'm telling you to sell books. That will make you go back to Godhead. So go sell some more books. If you have some doubt about Guru, sell more books. That's all I want you to do. Would you say that's very possibly his rationale?
Yeah. Rupa, what do you think?
Sounds like it.
What did you say?
It just sounds like it.
You think it sounds like it? Yeah. Well, you know Vaisheshika too, don't you, Rupa Manjari?
Yeah, I've met him a couple times.
Yeah. Well, what was your conclusion by meeting him?
He just seems like a nice guy. That's about it.
Yeah.
I didn't get a sense that he had this overwhelming spiritual Shakti.
Oh, he does not. He does not.
And that saves him, right?
Yeah.
It's like Kirtananda or something like that. he'd want everyone to enter his spiritual Shakti, which he had in a previous life, and then do something which will ultimately cause the disciple to go to hell and the guru to go to hell. But Vaishekha's is not like that. He's just a nice married dude, and he's selling books, and people that like selling books become his disciples. But that doesn't get you a temple in Sacramento, does it?
No. People were asking me, Ronald, why are you not focusing on, getting a temple? I'm like, I'm trying to understand what Prabhupada exactly wanted. Then we'll figure out temple later. If the understanding is not there, what Prabhupada exactly wanted, what's the use on having temples? It's pretty much useless.
Yeah, well, the whole problem with Vaisheshika and anyone that's nice like him is that they are selling books. They will make advancement. They'll take another birth and make more advancement, but they could go back to Godhead very quickly if they joined the League for 10K or listen to Prabhupada's 1966 kirtan and listen not just for his words or heard an old man chanting from India, something like that. Oh, the old man is going to die soon, chanting, leaving me with his movement. That's what they say, unfortunately. And they would say, by listening carefully to Prabhupada, they'd say, I can't believe it. I'm listening to Prabhupada, but he's not an old man. He's a vibrational being who comes from a different dimension. And when I follow that dimension, I watch him guiding me. And where is he guiding me to? He's guiding me to someone who's blue.
Blue with pink.
Guiding me to Krishna Loka. So it's time for me to get a rock and roll band and chant my own melodies. That's the mentality, right?
Okay, so there's some comments now. Let's see here. Here is okay. So Moses Singleton Prabhu, he's also, I think, in New York or New Jersey. He's saying Haribol, peace and blessing.
Jai.
And Moses Singleton Prabhu is saying,
Moishe Singleton.
Yes.
Should be Moishe.
I
Moses.
have had a similar experience with Sri Krishna, which brought me to Srila Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada 17 years ago. And
Wow.
Saurabh Sahu Prabhu saying, Ramakrishna and Vivekananda actually are popular all over India.
Up to a degree.
Yes. And then he's saying,
But Prabhupada in less than 100 years has made Krishna consciousness
yeah,
as popular as their movement for hundreds of years.
joy. In Saurabh Sahu Prabhu saying, in India, there is a regular quote that if you want to build your character, follow Vivekananda. My father liked him, but I know he was a Mayavadi, and there was actually a propaganda. And there was actually propaganda that he converted whole Western world to Sanatan Dharma, where actually one ladies came with him. Then how he converted whole Western world, where Prabhupada actually spread Sanatan culture.
He's saying he did convert the whole Western world?
I think there's some propaganda that he converted.
No, he's saying that he believes that that's what happened.
His father
Believes that. Well,
Yeah.
why don't we get his father an airplane ticket, bring him to Sacramento, and let him see how far did Vivekananda's irresistible preaching could go.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
then,
nobody knows who Vivekananda is.
yeah, not here. No. Everyone knows Hare Krishna.
Yeah. And he's saying that Vivekananda made it possible to chant Hare Krishna in the Western world.
No. Yeah.
That's tricky. How did he do that?
No idea. And Moses Singleton Prabhu saying, thank you, Rupa. All right.
What did Rupa say?
I don't know.
I don't know too. She made a comment or
Okay, she'd say, Moshe, you're welcome.
Mahaprabhu, what is Mahaprabhu doing?
Mahaprabhu is listening.
Oh, excellent, Mahaprabhu.
Well, jump in with both feet. Create a splash.
I'm not quite sure what to say. I
Remember,
enjoy
it's like a loud splash because you may or may not know this. I'm hearing impaired.
No kidding.
You know
I'm
that
there for you.
Mahaprabhu had his personnel behind the desk chanting Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. I come up to his assistant and he does all this work on my earphones. I said, okay, how much? I'm ready to pay. How much do I owe you? I said, I can't charge you. I said, why not? You can charge me. Why not charge me? I'm a member of Costco. Charge me. He said, I can't. I said, why? Because Mahaprabhu has taught me to chant Hare Krishna. And because you are representing, I cannot charge. He represented Krishna.
Joy.
For a service.
Mahaprabhu has given you a lifetime warranty.
That's right. Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama.
Joy.
Because I said,
Mahaprabhu, how's dad doing? How's dad doing, Mahaprabhu?
He's doing great. Thank God. He's 96.
Oh
He's
my.
hanging
he's
Yeah.
about the same age as Queen Elizabeth.
Hey, he's okay. Thank God. Hare Krishna. He's in good shape.
Is he's still troubling you or not? He's checking for oil stains?
Always. He troubles everybody. That's what keeps him going.
Make sure your car's not leaking any oil.
That's for sure. Oh, you remembered. Fantastic, Prabhupada. Thank you so much.
Well, if he does that, then teach him to chant Hare Krishna, and he'll torture everybody he knows with chanting Hare Krishna.
He's the sole survivor. Nobody's left in his world.
I thought you had a brother living with him, a sister or something.
Yeah, we're here, but all his friends and all his that generation,
Contemporaries.
they're all gone except for him.
Oh, really? So you're living alone in the house with him?
With my brother and my sister.
No, he's saying his contemporaries are gone. His father's contemporaries.
Contemporaries, but if
Exactly
you have a
right.
sister, that means it's his daughter, right?
Yes.
Or so he thinks.
Doing okay. He'll be around for a while.
So get him to chant Hare Krishna. He chanted Hare Krishna. He used to chant when you came on. To Zoom.
Oh yeah, he used to come on. Yes.
Remember that.
Yeah, tell him if he chants Hare Krishna, he'll live forever. And it's not even an exaggeration.
Haribol.
Jai, can you do
Mahaprabhu.
that? Help him.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes it's not easy to help people. Like Haridas Thakur was chanting Hare Krishna, and for that crime, he was beaten through the marketplace by a bunch of people that were hired by the Muslim magistrate. But he didn't stop chanting. And do you know who the real identity of Haridas is? Mahaprabhu? I mean, yeah, Mahaprabhu, do you know who his real identity is?
Who's that?
Haridas's real identity?
Who?
Lord Brahma, who created the entire universe and is still running it quite comfortably in his own planet that he created.
Guy.
He's only 50 years old. Half of his life is gone.
No, it's just 50 years old his time.
Yes.
But that's one day of Brahma is 6,400,000 years. Now that's pretty long, right?
Not so long. The Jiva is eternal in a context of eternity. No.
400,000 years is his daytime, right?
Yes.
Guess
12
what,
hours.
guess what else?
12 hours.
The nighttime is equal to that.
Hmm.
So it's about 13 billion years for what we experience in 24 hours.
We got a couple more comments.
Oh, yes, Rupa, can you read, Prabhu?
Okay, Saurav Sahu says, now a phenomena going on is Satguru, save soil. Does not a Narayan Prabhu aware about Satguru? He has a huge following in Western world.
Well, I'm sad to say I don't know who he is. I've never heard him, but the thing is, what is he giving the disciple that will help them regain their identity in Krishna Loka? That's the only question that you need to ask him. What are you doing so that people regain? If you say, oh, you become spiritual energy floating around over the ocean of earth or something. No, no, no. When will I go back to home, back to Godhead?
He openly admitted that he'd never read the Bhagavad Gita.
Well, then what does he represent?
Soil.
What?
He's trying to save the soil.
Soil?
SOIL, yes.
How is he going to save the soil?
Now a phenomena going on, Sadguru, save soil. I think it's some new concoction to, launder more money.
Save the soil, then he should start Varnashram farms.
Yeah, I think he does have some sort of farming thing going on, but I think that's some new propaganda that he's doing.
What is the bottom line, you see?
Bottom line is there's no spirituality, there's no Krishna there.
Exactly. Therefore, his bottom line is, I will profit from your being my disciple. I will have oil to comb through my beard. But the fact is that if you want to go back to home, back to Godhead, you're going to have to chant Hare Krishna. I can't help you.
Okay, let's see if there's anything else here. He's saying, no, he is Mayavadi. Adi Yogi Yoga Mahadev. I think he's some of his teachings or whatever.
Okay, so what is the attraction of the Mayavadi?
Yeah, I mean, even the Mayavadis are more learned than him. Why
should a person become a Mayavadi? Basically, isn't their theory that they want to become one with God?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't follow these, questionable people. So
Yeah, has anyone entered into dialogue with him or can recite any of his basic and more structural teachings?
yeah, he'll have to come here and then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, to the League for 10K. Why not? He can join the group.
Join the WhatsApp. Okay, let me see here if there's any more questions here. We got about 30 minutes. So if anyone wants to join, please join the WhatsApp group or send a message. I'll send you the Zoom link.
We welcome you.
Welcome, welcome.
And not only that, we welcome what you bring. Because this is an Istagosti. Everyone who comes to Istagosti brings the most valuable thing, the jiva, who they are.
I need a bag of potatoes.
A bag of potatoes? I don't know, Dr. Gundry doesn't like it. Potatoes were introduced by Columbus.
You said everyone brings something, so I said,
Oh, yeah, well, if they bring potatoes, we can make a potato subji.
okay, let's see if there's any more questions. No, okay. No questions. Oh, Saurav Sahu is saying, Prabhu is saying something. Let me share the screen here. He said in the 1980s, in his home state, somewhere in South India, he sat on a rock under a tree and he had some realization.
Jai.
So what was his realization?
Oh, what was it?
I don't know. He'll have to. I guess he cried. He's just using a crying face.
Okay, you have a realization of a crying face. There's a lot of reasons to cry when sitting on a rock in South India, obviously, right?
Vinayak Prabhu is saying he is another bogus guru in India. Yeah, India has a lot of those.
What's his name?
His name is Sadguru. He
That's
does
not
not
group.
believe in the authority of the Vedas and Bhagavad Gita. Vinayak Prabhu from Japan is saying he does not believe in the authority of the Vedas and Bhagavad Gita, this Sadguru personality.
So what does he believe in?
No idea.
See, the Vedas, everybody's so stoked on distributing Prabhupada's books, like Vaisheshika, and I cannot argue with that at all. The more books distributed, the better. But it's not about books. It's about reading them and understanding that you're part and parcel of Krishna, and that if you chant Hare Krishna, hearing Prabhupada chanting, and then chanting exactly like Prabhupada, you will go back to Godhead. So we're not even about books. We're about what's inside the book. We're the conclusion of the book, the Siddhanta of the book. And the Siddhanta is chant Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Everything's the same in all the books. And they're all arguments why to chant Hare Krishna. That's what Prabhupada said. Said, my books really are not important. But the whole thing is that in every book you'll see chant Hare Krishna, go back to Godhead. And then you have the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where the introductor of the Hare Krishna mantra is present. It's a whole Chaitanya Charitamrita, all 5 volumes is about him. Chant Hare Krishna, go back to Godhead. So at some point, a person who reads all of Prabhupada's books completely and realizes the conclusion will say, oh, I should chant Hare Krishna and then I'll go back to God. That's what he will have to conclude. But it's all about chanting the holy name and hearing the holy name. Lord Chaitanya said, if you hear the holy name once, you will go back to Godhead. And people say, really? Once? Hare Krishna, good. Am I going back to Godhead? Yeah, of course you are. But when? I said, well, it's like having a shirt with an airplane ticket in it. The airplane ticket clearly states which airplane and what destination and that you're going back to God. Oh, good. So when does the airplane take off? Then I say, when you've given up all material attachment, when you no longer want to even be an enjoyer sitting in an Istagosi meeting with a bunch of ex-temple presidents, all of you eating prasadam and feeling very good about your material bodies and the lives that you've created up to this point. When you give that all up and surrender to Krishna, and give up profit, what is it called? Profit, adoration, and distinction. So there's a group now of hundreds of people, of devotees, who are, it's wonderful, they're swearing their allegiance to Prabhupada, they're swearing their non-allegiance to the GBC. This is all good. But what is that group? It's a group of people that are there to associate with each other and to say, you're right, and you're right, and you're not right. And why do you say I'm not right? Because at this point or that point, but okay, let me convince you that we're both right. You know, that's not how to become a pure devotee. That's how to build a new religion. You get that all those people together and they can become bishops and cardinals and popes in a new religion. They have already made a religion where the GBC is the topmost ecclesiastic authority in ISKCON. So
Yeah,
now,
everyone wants to either join a group or make a group. That's
yeah,
the modern
they'll
tendency.
say, darn around, you chant 16 rounds, are you ready to join? I say, I've been doing this since day one. So do you want to join? I say, not yet. I'm waiting to hear how each individual in your group will surrender to Paramatma to the degree that he will allow himself to be guided by the same Paramatma that gives you a car and gives you some food, gives you a wife, gives you a house, puts the curtains on the windows. That same Paramatma guiding you to Krishna's lotus feet. And that I will understand will take place when you listen to Prabhupada say, for instance, all of Prabhupada is equal. But the 1966 album, before people were trying to cut his throat, literally, or poison him, starting right after 1970, the mood was there. When you surrender to Prabhupada completely, 100%. And you can hear the Hare Krishna mantra coming through Prabhupada's lotus lips. And you meditate and you see how many obstacles there are in your consciousness. So many desires are there that are not yet fulfilled. Oh, I might need to get another car. Oh, I need to get another wife. I need to get this. I need to get that. I need to get this. I need to get that. All of those have to go until you have only one desire left. And that is, my dear Lord Paramatma, please eliminate all my desires. You can now take charge. Send me where you want to send me. Send me to hell. Send me, give me a body of a pig. Give me a body of a turtle. But whatever you do not satisfy my material desires. Give me not even my good ones that are earned because I'm a devotee. Forget that. Devotees don't have material desires. Therefore, give them up, even though you're entitled to them in a ISKCON temple. Give them up. And then approach Prabhupada's lotus feet without any voices talking to you from within, except Paramatma. My dear Lord, let me hear Prabhupada. I've been a devotee for 40 years. Let me hear Prabhupada for the very first time now. And when you play that record from 1966 or any other record of Prabhupada, you will hear Prabhupada and you'll say, you know, in your mind, you'll say, I didn't realize you were leading us up a chain of consciousness, that you're leading us up a chain. We listened to you and then we went out and did our own thing, chanting our own melodies, beating our own drums. I want to hear now, stop all that other stuff. Let me hear you and come up to you. Let's see, what will I find? I'm hearing the peak of your chanting, which is coming from Krishna Loka. Where else could it be coming from? That sound, where else would it come from except Krishna Loka? And now I see what you want us to see. You wanted to see Krishna. And I can't see all of Krishna because I'm not even a Madhya Madhukari, but to speak of it with the Madhya. But I can see that Krishna's there. I can see a bit of blue, and I can see that you are fully absorbed in your rasa with Krishna. And that it is Krishna, not just you, that brought you here to earth. It gave us ISKCON to have his temple name. It was six letters. And you gave us the melodies. And all the people grabbed onto everything. They wanted power, they wanted control, and they used it to sell books. They used it to get big crowds of people running back and forth and rolling on the ground. You got them to do that, but that's not the point. Get those so many people and get them to let go of all of their desires to roll on the ground and to be famous kirtanistas. Let go of all of that and listen to Prabhupada. And if you do, you will see Krishna eventually, not very quickly. You will see at least proof that Krishna exists by hearing from Prabhupada. Whereas rolling on the ground may impress certain people, but it will not. What does that sort of kirtan do? It's a social life. It's social, what can you call it? It's a social practice. You're just doing something to be cool or groovy, and everybody can do it with you. That's part of it, but it's a very tiny part, because everybody in a big kirtan somewhere that are thinking about all sorts of glorious things about themselves and what they're going to do next, all of those people can actually stop and take time to listen to the 1966 album of Prabhupada carefully until they don't hear the kirtanista guys in the background, and they can hear Prabhupada leading them somewhere up to Krishna.
Vinayak Prabhu, anything you like to say, Prabhu? Vinayak from Japan.
No, Prabhu, not as such.
Okay.
Where's Vinayak from Japan?
All right. Let me see if there's any more questions. 1 second here. We have about 17 minutes or 18 minutes. Okay.
Would this
Um,
be a good time for you to read those questions that I prepared for Abhimanyu? Just so everyone can hear what's possible in an impossible situation?
we can run down. Yes, 1 second. Let me. Rupa sent it to me. Hold on 1 second.
I'm not going to say what's possible, what might be possible. But it might be possible for a man born in Bengal and a pharmacist to come to America, chant Hare Krishna, and maybe one or two people will be marginally interested. Or maybe they'll flood back to India in a few years,
Okay, let's see. Here.
chanting Hare Krishna, dressed in dhotis and saris and sannyas garb and everything, fully convinced of what they can do.
September
I'm talking a lot. Is that too much, do you think?
1st.
I don't know. Do you think people liked what I said, or they said, "Oh my God"?
That only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Well, I didn't mean to offend anyone on this Zoom call by hogging the moment of surrender to Krishna.
All right, I have the questions here. Let me paste it up here. Hold on. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I have it here. Second.
By the way, I'm very pleased with working through my 27-inch computer. It's a totally different experience. Maybe I'll continue it even if I get a soft-
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, you'll have bigger screens and
Yeah, and I can test because as I become even slightly Krishna conscious in this process of being with this Zoom call, maybe the fog will lift it.
Okay, let's see here.
If I don't, it'll get so completely dense.
Interesting. It's not loading. 1 second here. I'm having some computer trouble. 1 second.
Jai,
Okay, I got it loaded.
is Mohit on?
No,
What happened to Mohit?
we'll have to call him and find
Yeah,
out.
we have to call him because he should be on. And Panchali should be on.
Okay, we have this development of August 18th, 2022, proposal to Abhimanyu Prabhu. Rupa, can you read, Prabhu?
We should say Abhimanyu Prabhu is
Yeah.
a major guy who's done a lot of Krishna conscious service in Russia.
Yes.
And that he was given a dispensation by Hansaduta before Hansaduta passed on to publish Prabhupada's books in who knows what language, I guess any language. And so this is how I'm asking Abhimanyu, how can you create Krishna consciousness in Russia where the GBC has pretty much spoiled the image of ISKCON in Russia? Go ahead.
Number one, does the ISKCON criminal GBC have complete control over the use of the name ISKCON in terms of using the name of ISKCON to open 1966 style temples in Russia? Questions. Number one, under the present Russian legal system, can the title ISKCON be used to incorporate under present Russian law small groups of temples that are modeled after the early temples, such as existed in San Francisco in 1966 up to 1969? Number two, if so, can a group of very small temples be incorporated under Russian law, completely separate from the criminal international GBC that has branches in many parts of India, USA, Europe, South America, and many other countries? Number three, can such individual temples exist legally in Russia with multiple branches of temples comprised of membership of between 5 and 100 members each, with no connection or allegiance to the present criminal GBC that presently exists in Russia? Number four, if the name ISKCON cannot be incorporated as such, is it possible that such temples could be legally incorporated using a modified designation such as Srila Prabhupada ISKCON, Krishna Loka ISKCON, or even Sri Sri Radhakrishna ISKCON. Number 5, is there any group of words that could be used to incorporate temples that incorporate the 6-letter word ISKCON as part of their formal incorporation papers? Number 6, if such an incorporation of temples were indeed feasible, could the incorporation be kept completely separate from the bogus GBC used in other countries, including Russia? Number 7, if a number of such independently incorporated temples were to be registered under Russian law, could Prabhupada's unchanged books be printed and distributed through each of these separately incorporated Russian ISKCON centers? Number 8, if so, could the original Srila Prabhupada unchanged books have a Russian-based BBT incorporated set of trustees to assure that no book changes could or would be introduced in the future? Format. Number 1, once 10 or so ISKCON temples were individually incorporated, would it be legal under Russian law for an elected GBC using Srila Prabhupada's direction of management be established to facilitate the expansion of the small ISKCON temples? Number 2, even if the new small Russian temples were to be established with a restriction of membership to be no more than 100 or even fewer members, there would be no loss or diminution, as instead of one of a few large ISKCON temples in each Russian GBC zone, there could be hundreds or even thousands of individual ISKCON temples established in major Russian cities that would be coordinated and facilitated by their elected GBC structures. Number 3, factually 10 to 100 temples in one large Russian city would have even greater influence and preaching power than just 1 or 2 mega temples that would be expensive to maintain and that would require that congregations travel for miles to attend ISKCON services. Number 4, all the new individual Russian ISKCON temples would have Srila Prabhupada in the center as the only living Guru Acharya, and the only kirtans used in these temples would start with Srila Prabhupada's 1966 Happening Record album, both the kirtan side as well as the explanation of the mantra side, accurately translated into Russian, of course. Number 5, other kirtans such as are now widely available can be studied using earbuds in such a way that a whole temple congregation would learn to hear these historic Srila Prabhupada kirtans in 1 or 2 hour sessions per day, and then use these exact melodies, intonations, Swami steps, mridanga beats, as well as Srila Prabhupada's elegant way of playing kartals. Number 6, once mastered in the small individual temples, then these powerful transcendental kirtans can be taken into the parks and streets as Nagar Sankirtan, with the natural outcome of overwhelming the Russian population with the exact replica of Srila Prabhupada's kirtan sound vibration. Number 7, one of the main duties of the GBC would be to be sure that Srila Prabhupada's original kirtan style would be the only kirtan style used in each temple and in the towns on Nagar Sankirtan. Number 8, to be continued all over the world.
Excellent reading. Rupa Manjari Prabhu.
Thank you.
Right.
All this ranting I was doing earlier, whoever wrote that, it's concisely saying what I was trying to express verbally and was making a fool of myself, perhaps.
Okay, let me go back.
So I'll go back and say to the author, I offer my obeisances to this author.
Excellent. Okay, let's see. Yeah.
I have to consider who is the actual author.
Let me see if there's any comments regarding this on online. Second here. Oh. Okay, so we have about eight minutes. So there's some questions I'd like to address before signing out. So let's see, where's the questions here? Okay, here we go. Oh, Lakshmi saying, Lakshmi Almeida, Hare Krishna. Saurav Sahu Prabhu saying, Narayan Prabhu, please explain the meaning of Om, Hare Krishna. So he's asking the meaning of Om. I have no idea. I'll have to look it up in Prabhupada's books. Can you explain Narayan Prabhu? Or
Well, I can explain what Prabhupada said.
Sure.
Om.
yes.
Om is a two-syllable representation of Krishna. You know, if you can't chant Hare Krishna, if you chant Om, it will bring you eventually to the point of chanting Hare Krishna. Just like Valmiki was chanting Mara Mara, which means death, death. And Narada Muni gave up on trying to instruct him, so he said, "Oh, just chant Mara, whatever." But
Maram, 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 Maram.
anyway, Mara, Mara, death, 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 until Mara, 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 Rama, Rama, Rama. He was able to chant Rama, which is the same thing as Mara, except a different arrangement of letters.
these
Like
acharyas or these great personalities.
yeah.
Look at that.
And so is the what you call it, the symbol, the Om symbol.
Yeah.
That is a symbol of Radha and Krishna. You can see,
Narayan,
yes.
I heard from an old friend of mine who first introduced me to Hinduism that Om was the sound that made the universe. Did you ever hear Prabhupada say that?
Well, it's the basis of it, yes.
Yeah, because she said that Om was the sound that made the universe.
Well, that's more or less what I indicated. He didn't say Hare Krishna is the basis of the universe, but if Om was there, it has the potency to create in the material world. But Krishna has nothing to do with creating in the material world. If he may chant Om, then the rest is cause and effect, you know. Sort of like if you build up a little tower and you want to knock it down, you can take out one brick from the tower in the play box, and then the whole thing will fall over. So Krishna doesn't make arrangements for material life.
Yeah.
But he does make possible the existence of the material world through, I would say your friend is undoubtedly right, through the Om. And if I studied Tibetan Buddhism, and they blow those big horns, Om, you know, and then all these Tibetan Buddhists get together and say, Om. It's quite an earth-shattering experience, and it can actually take you out of your present bardo, present experience within that you call the reality that you share with others. It can take you into other bardos, which are in different, not even on different planets, they're just in different locations in the universe. And we
Okay.
can see it that way. But that's not our business. Our business is beyond Buddhism.
Okay. Narayan Prabhu, I guess you'll get a phone later on tomorrow or something, right?
What?
I said you'll get a phone later on tomorrow. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Or once we go offline, then I have some questions for you. You can stay on the computer?
Sure, I'm on the computer.
Okay. Yeah, just stay on. Just don't sign out.
Yeah,
Okay.
can do that. Are we reaching the end of the rope?
Yeah, just a few minutes. Vinayak Prabhu, anything to say? Robert Prabhu, any realizations, questions, comments? And
No, not at the moment.
okay.
Robert, did you break the back of the creature that is depressing you?
I'm getting to the bottom of it, and the more and more
Robert, just take a club and hit the monster on the back until you snap. Then you balls
all right, I will.
the tongue hanging out, no more depression.
Yeah.
Robert, you're on the right track. You keep coming to these meetings and learn as much as you can. There's a lot of information here.
Yeah.
And then when you go and see Freud's grave and all of the great psychiatrists' graves, you can sprinkle their graves with poison ivy.
And you can send questions to Ramachandra or me or Naranarayan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And or even send the same question to all three of us and get 3 different answers.
That's what
Yes.
I normally do.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Completely different answers. When you hear the 3 different answers, you'll be completely befuddled.
Or
That is-
completely inspired.
Yeah.
We're just kidding. I'm kidding. Rupa Manjari said the exact truth. That's what you can do, and that's what you
Oh,
should.
we like to bamboozle people here on this forum to make them think.
That's funny.
At least, you know, they're like, what the hell is going on?
Call me on the phone.
All
Just
right.
call me on the phone, unless you get long distance charges, but call me on the phone.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
but your phone is dead.
Oh, yeah, temporarily. Yeah. Yes.
Ah, then you can call me on the phone and I won't answer. But you can always email me.
Yes.
Email I get always. I don't always get. You see, there's so many sites, and people say, "Oh, you were mentioned." I go to my phone and it says, "You were mentioned by so and so." So I push it, and it takes me to a site. I have no idea where it is. And if I see something I like, I say, "Well, that's wonderful what you said." If I see something I don't like, which is more likely the case, I start growling through lettering on my cell phone.
Okay. Would like to thank
You can probably
No.
imagine what it's like by hearing me talk.
Jai. So we're right at the hour, 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Narendra Prabhu, thank you very much for coming.
I'm so honored to bow down at your lotus feet. I am so honored.
Rupa Manjari Prabhu, thank you very much. Robert, Vinayak,
Your lotus
Thank you.
feet.
Mahaprabhu,
His lotus feet. And Robert at his lotus feet.
and our online viewers, many of them who are always
And
watching. Thank you
We
very
offer
much.
our
Prabhu.
obeisances to all of you.
Jai, Hare Krishna.
And that is the secret of this Gosti. The jiva comes inside of his body and practices tentatively how to speak through the body, but hopefully not about the body. He speaks through the body until he becomes self-realized.
Jai.
It's a
All
purpose.
right, Prabhus. Thank you very much. We'll see you back here on Thursday.
Thursday.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.